And sitting next to me, to my left here, is my special guest, Mack Harmon. Now, Mack here and I go back a ways, and I think he's built a beautiful home with all the money I've given to him. Because all the cheap vehicles falling apart, and he saves the day here and fixes them for me. So, why not give it to a good guy? Mack, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks. I appreciate it. You have me on and everything. So.
And well, first I got to tell everybody, you're the owner of Quick Wrench Automotive.
That's right, Quick Wrench Automotive. It's a great place, located in Temple, Texas. We built it. We're going on a little over 8 years now. Opened up our second location, so really excited about that. Just trying to do a good deed for everybody. Get out there and
And we're going to talk about this because
awesome.
the reason I got you on is because you're so. You fit my personality in the sense I like details, and you're always sitting there behind the counter and you're like, I'll come into your shop with a problem and go, oh, what year, what make? Got it. It's because usually this happens because it basically was made this way and they didn't like it, so they changed this. And then you go down behind your computer and you whip out this report and boom, there it is. I'm like, I like this, man. This guy knows what he's talking about. So we're going to give us a short bio on yourself of who you are, where you're from, where you come from, and a short business bio, which you just told us a little brief.
Let's see if I'm thinking correctly. I'm 35. I'm married to my wife. I got two beautiful daughters, 11 and 8, Mackenzie and Caitlin. Basically, I grew up out in Clifton, kind of farmer town type deal, not a big population, so didn't migrate too far from my roots. Live up in the Lorena area, and then just kind of moseyed down to Temple and got everything started down there. And
now, before we get into some more of the personal things that you do, you not only have your Quick Wrench Automotive shop, the two of them in Temple,
right?
But you offshoot into some other business. What else do you do?
Basically, we're trying to pull my hair out as fast as I can, trying to be retired. But we've started up Quick Wrench Power Sports. We sell little ATV, four-wheelers, go-karts, motorcycles. It's a cheaper line to get people into them, so they don't go spend thousands of dollars on the name brand. And then we also have our Uptown Party game truck, which is a new thing up and coming in the Waco area. Basically, we come to your house and entertain, birthday parties, anniversaries, whatever.
Now listen up, this is an awesome little deal. Explain that one a little bit more. Because
that one's pretty cool.
Because when you go to your shop to get your car fixed, you're happy. But when you go and get the other business you're talking about, you have fun.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's a great thing. If you're trying to have a birthday party or anything, basically, gaming's the upcoming thing. You see your kids sitting there wanting to play games, and you want to have them interact with other people. So we just threw it all together in one little mobile idea. So we have a truck trailer that's all climate controlled, laser lights, surround sound. It's got 550-inch TVs on the inside, two 75-inch TVs on the outside. It's the latest and greatest.
You got a website for that?
Yeah, we have a website. It's uptownpartytrucks.com.
Okay, we're going to repeat this during the course of the next 20 minutes. We're going to repeat your websites and all that kind of stuff 2 or 3 different times. So, do you have a website for the Quick Wrench Automotive?
We do. It's quickwrenchautomotive.com.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you've got mechanical problems out there when it comes to full-size vehicles, trucks, or whatever, because we've got other people on the show, they do small engine repair, they do motorcycles, four-wheelers, but we're talking, Mack, you pretty much do the big stuff. You used to be a race car driver, right?
Yep, race, dirt track, little roundy, most people call it. It's a blast.
A lot of people don't know what you're talking about, so explain what it is. I'm one of those people.
Yeah, basically, there's dirt tracks around. You have your asphalt, and then you have your dirt. So usually people say you use the asphalt to get to the dirt track, and then you race around the dirt track. But yeah, I raced growing up, dirt track with my dad, my brothers, and stuff like that. Learned a lot of stuff in that. You had to be quick on the fly.
You have to, I guess, right?
You break something, you lose a cylinder, rip off a front end or something. Somebody just wanted to slide up and hit you a little bit and knock off your front end just to win the race or the heat race. Well, you got to figure out how to put that back together pretty quick. So I use that knowledge that I've learned over the years to my automotive shop as well, and keep growing from there. But
so you grew up not learning mechanics. You got into the racing aspect of it, and it forced you to learn mechanics, and then from there you expanded on mechanics. Is that how it went?
To a degree. We come from a mechanical driven family with business driven as well. My dad used to have small engine repairs, like a lawnmower shop, growing up. So we got me now.
Oh, there you go.
Then
just changing the mic.
Make sure you can hear me.
That's right.
But basically grew up doing small engine repairs, little lawnmowers and stuff, which I got a unique story to tell, about my brothers and stuff. We used to race on that stuff. But
what are you doing, like a what's his name? More Power.
Tim Taylor.
Tim.
No, Tim.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
Yeah.
He's
Tim
out
the
there with his
twin.
lawnmower. He's got the big drag pipes hanging.
Oh yeah. We used to do that all the time. My dad, he'd bet us $5 or so. He'd throw it on the table, and we'd be sitting there, and me and my brothers, we'd had a scrap pile, about 50 lawnmowers just sitting out there in the rust and rain and stuff. And he'd just go, "Hey, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $5. First one, and go grab a mower and get it running as fast as you can."
That's a great incentive.
Yeah,
right there.
so me and my brothers, what we do, we take off running, just burn it out through the dirt right there, and go grab a lawnmower. We yank it back in. We just completely disassemble as fast as we can. We get it back together. We fire it up. First one to pull the string to get it going and run by itself. You got the money.
And how old were you then?
I was, at that age, I was probably 11, 12.
$5 to 11-year-old.
That's
That day, that's
hey,
a lot of money.
you know how
right?
much candy that bought? A lot. So I was really excited about that. But then, to take it one step further, we learned mechanics real fast there. But then my dad made us learn other aspects of it. He's like, "Well, since you got it running, let's strip it all back down, repaint it, refinish it, and then we'll sell it out front, and I'll get my $5 back."
Wow.
So
It's a good deal. That's the way to learn, man.
yeah, so it was great, but took that, basically just built on that over the years. Then my dad had a farm shop where he worked on big tractors, farm tractors and stuff like that. They also had a trucking company where they worked on it, big Peterbilt trucks and stuff. So I always kind of moseyed around and just absorbed what I could.
I've told this story before, but I was in the military, done a bunch of different things, but I was on a tank. I would drive a tank, be the gunner of a tank, command a tank, and all during the course of that, your crew would have to fix whatever's wrong with it.
Yeah.
I'm pulling engines out of tanks and knowing what to do, how to fix it. I'm telling you, I couldn't do squat today. I don't know what it is. It's like I'm getting more stupider.
Yeah.
As I get older,
It's crazy how far cars have come. I was driving down here thinking about this, back in like the 60s and 70s, if you had a battery basically and a spark, and then you could pour gas straight down the engine and it'd run,
That's funny you say that, because a good friend of mine, brother Mark, we're in California. We had this guy, he had a Dodge pickup truck, an old Dodge. And you got this big Dodge pickup truck, and you open up the hood, and there's this engine in it with so much space around it, and you literally could have a mechanic in it while you're driving fixing it because there's so much room.
Yep.
Nowadays, forget it. You
Yep.
got all this air pollution stuff in there and computers.
Yeah, you can barely get your hand down in there nowadays. You pop the hood, and that's the difference with mechanics and stuff. You come into the shop, a lot of people don't understand what's under the hood or under the car when they buy these cars. Back in the day, they had one module that was a very simple module. And nowadays we have, 15, 20 modules on one car. So
Is all the electronics for the comforts, or is a lot of the electronics based, it makes the car run better, more efficiently, or can you strip all that stuff out, have a plain car without the electronics?
well, it's everything that you just listed. Basically, it's for comfort, pleasure. Big thing is communication, so like radio, syncing up, phone technology, stuff like that. But at the same time, it's emissions controls. So with the EPA involved and stuff, they want to make these cars get as best fuel economy as possible, but at the same time helping the emission, the environment and stuff like that. So yes, you can do that, eliminate a lot of that stuff. Will I do that? No, because we're not allowed to do that.
That's right.
So you'll have to find that shade tree mechanic, of course. But no, other than that, you have 3 modules now just to connect your phone to a car. So where we didn't have that back then, but people just jump in and it automatically does it. You're not even thinking about it, but there's a lot of technology that's sitting there that can go wrong or short out or stuff like that.
You would think even more so with all the heat that's coming off of there, it's going to affect it, which can cause damage. But look, the reason I got you on was because I like how you work.
Cool.
And we're going to go over, before you get off the air, we're going to go over some common tips that you might be able to tell some people to prepare for hot weather, cold weather, or just basic generalities. But before we do that, what impressed me with you was your method of how you do your business. What is your ethic, your core ethic of how you run your business? Because when I walk in, you're clean, present yourself well, and you answer my question. It's like me with guns and handguns. You ask me a question, there's the answer. Somebody says, I got a question. I go, I got an answer. I come into you, you look at me and go, what now? I go, here's my problem. And you go,
You never know when you walk through the door.
Yeah, you never know. So, what's your methodology?
you know, I started our business to be family owned. I mean, you have a lot of mom and pop stores out there, so I think everybody's business is the same. They want to deliver the same. It's the how you deliver that.
But not everybody can do that. They may want to, but they can't do it.
That's the big deal. Is, I mean, nobody goes to open a business saying they're going to piss somebody off or not have the answers or do that. You know, everybody wants to do it, but you know, you have to know how to do it, and you know, there's a lot of, you know, how you present yourself, your body language, and just knowledge in general too.
Let me tell you a few things that I noticed when I go to your place. I mentioned the cleanliness, but you made a comment one time, and I know you're always looking for good help that meets your requirements. And one happened to not keep up to your standards, and you won't accept that. You have standards, and I saw that, and I'm like, cool. Cleanliness is one of them.
Right.
Organizing your area is another one of them. Plus, you got to have good knowledge. You got to know what you're doing. But I've seen you guys talk with each other, and you go. The mechanics come in from the bay, they come to you and they talk, and I see the respect and the rapport going on, and there's good dialogue, good questions, problem, solution, and I see that. It's just, that's what I like. And the other thing too that I like, and you got to explain this, when you're saying you're recording what problems are. You told me I got a camera in there, or I can show you a video of it. What do you mean by that? Explain it to people so they know if they go to you, hey, I'm getting something on my butt getting scoped out, you know?
Right. I invest a lot of money in technology. I love technology. So basically, like scanners, data, everything that I can have at my fingertip, the more I have, the better. So I have online all data programs that are by, you know, certified technicians on a national market. So I have that at my fingertips. So do my technicians. We have the latest and greatest scanner technology. Very expensive to keep that up to date, but that stuff records all kind of data. So just over the course of every time we work on a vehicle, we learn something new every time, and then we save that data basically. So per se, you come walking in the door with your vehicle, and it's a couple years older. Well, we've already worked on that situation probably 100 times, and 99% of the time it's always this. I'm not saying it is every time, but that gives us a real good scenario.
Now, you're not saying you worked 100 times on my vehicle. You're saying you fixed those problems in other vehicles hundreds of times. Yes. So you're very experienced.
So it's very, very easy for us to diagnose something.
My stuff is old, but man, it ain't junk, you know?
Yeah. Hey, no, we rebuilt that thing. What are you talking about? It's all running like new now. But no, so, you know, delivering on the business side, you know, about cleanliness and stuff, you know, my model is that if a vehicle comes in, it's going to leave cleaner than the way it got to my shop. That goes a long ways with me.
I can verify that. You'll get under there with cans or whatever it is you're spraying, and that thing's spotless because you want to see. I want to see if something's leaking.
Yeah, and I take every vehicle like my own, basically, or if I'm going to put my wife into it and send them down the road. If I don't feel comfortable with our repair 100%, I'm going to go back out and just double check it one more time, just so I have comfort, and then when I deliver it to you, I can confidently tell you that it's right. I've drove it. I know it's right. Here you go, and that's a peace of mind for me.
Let's make a comment about your wife too. She's your better half. I'll tell you that for sure.
For sure, yeah.
She's got, ladies and gentlemen, Courtney. She's a smiling face. When you walk in the door, she makes you feel very welcomed, and he is blessed to have Courtney. If you're listening, okay, it shows and it's appreciated. Thank you very much, especially for me. Oh, here he comes again. She smiles though. That's great. She's
yeah.
Okay, so back to this now. So you do this recording, and those are the things that I noticed about your business, how you work. You got a good meshing going on with your people. Is there certain requirements you require of your mechanics to have before they can work for you?
We do. My wife actually come up with a pretty good idea where we interview them and actually put them to the test a couple times before we actually hire them now. So basically they do a couple jobs. We just pay them cash money, see how they actually do and perform, so that way we can put them in the way we want it done. So, and basically we have a check-off sheet. So when you come in, and pretty much every shop out there, they have a similar scenario, but do they do it is the big deal. So I, you know, strive, and like I tell my guys, we need to do this every single time a car comes in. It doesn't matter.
I don't feel like a number when I walk into your shop.
Right.
Yeah, because I've been there quite a while. It doesn't matter. I see you deal when I'm in there with other people too. You don't feel like a number. You feel like, hey, how's it going?
Right. And, you know, like I said, that goes on to, I take everybody's car the same, you know, as it was my car, how I'd want it fixed, you know. You may know about mechanics, you may not know about mechanics. I'm not going to treat you any differently than one person to the next. Everybody gets the same treatment, you know, which goes a long ways with a lot of people. So
wrap this part of it up, and when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the basics. What would you say they are? Just the basic things that you need on a trip.
Yeah, just
things
quick
that you
checks,
look for.
stuff to get you down the road so you're not leaving in a bad situation.
Mack is always going to be there to help you in the stuff that you can't fix, but he's going to give tips on what you can do to maybe prevent seeing him as soon as you might if you
Nobody likes him to see me.
I like seeing you, Mack. That's no problem. All right, go ahead, Troy. Let's take a break. And when we come back on the other side, we'll do some common basic tips on what you can do for your vehicle so you don't get stuck on the road. Welcome back, everybody, to the Aaron's High Cab Adventure Radio program. We're having fun on this side of the mic during the break. I'm learning a lot of things here. Mack, we've got Mack Harmon from Quick Wrench Automotive out of Temple. He's got 2 locations and some other businesses as well. I want you to mention those businesses, points of contact, websites too, so everybody knows, especially that little entertainment thing. A lot of people having parties.
Oh, yeah. Website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Go on there, you know, find the latest and greatest automotive shop in town. And then you got uptownpartytrucks.com. We're based out of Waco on that one, so we do driving direction or come out to your house a little further outside the rim. So check that out for sure. So, but yeah, and we also got the Quick Wrench Power Sports. It's based out of my automotive shop as well. So
and those are the smaller 4-wheelers, motorcycles,
yes,
dirt bikes, that type of stuff for the
yep,
younger ones.
The one that everybody loves to have, you know, just sitting around the garage, fired them, watch this, you know, type stuff.
Okay. Now, we talked about who he is, where he comes from, some of his history, how he runs his business. But now, Mack, we're going to talk about what you can do to help us, the idiots out there, to keep our cars running just a little bit longer before we have to pull into your parking lot and say, Mack, help me.
Yeah. You don't want to be a victim on the side of the road, especially with your whole family in the car, you know, get loaded all up and going down the road to, you know, Disney World. It's 14 hours away and you make it 10 minutes and you're on the side of the road.
No, that's not good.
It's not a good feeling.
What's
I'll tell you that.
What's that family's name? The Griswolds?
Yeah, the Griswolds. Yeah. Okay. That's a good one right there now. But we won't go that extreme. But, you know, some quick things, you know, just basic visuals. You can walk around the car, you know. Some people, pretty much everybody out there, you know, they hit the auto start if you got it. If you don't, you jump in really fast, start it up, and you take off. Well, you know, you could have picked up a nail coming up the driveway or something like that, and your tire's flat. Well, it takes you a whole minute to realize because most people are texting and driving, which you should not be doing.
Especially after September 1st.
Yeah, you just woke up, everybody's checking their Facebook, their messages, shouldn't be doing, but it happens, you know, and then...
Sounds like a man of personal experience.
Yeah. And then you see people on the side of the road, like, waving at you, and you think you're just really cool, and everybody's like, hey, how's it going, you know, we're just driving here, but no, you got a flat tire. So, but just a visual walk around of the car, you know, you can look at your tires, and if one tire just looks different from the other one, hey, just check the tire pressure.
Well, let's talk about that one in particular, because if you drove home and it got flat by the time you wake up the next morning, your tire's still okay. But if you back out and start riding, you start messing up the sidewalls, forget it, there goes the tire, you got to replace it. So it behooves you to maybe just do a walk around real quick. So go ahead.
Yep. It's so basically you just walk around like you were saying, you know, the tire's actually good, but if you're driving with a tire that's somewhat low on air, you know, not 30 psi and it's down to 15, you're still driving great. You're probably not going to notice much because you're not the trained mechanic, but the thing is it superheats the sidewall, and if that occurs, it doesn't take about 5 minutes, and that's when you see those people on the side of the road with the blowout tire, and they're like, what happened, you know? So, but just a visual walk around can save you a lot of headaches.
Well, let's go a little further on the flat tire. Can you say anything about a donut?
Donuts are great. If you ever have a flat tire, I do highly recommend to put the donut on the rear of the tire. Usually the right rear is the best place to put it. It's the farthest away from the driver. If anything happens to it, you still have your front two tires to steer.
That's a good tip. Can you mesh that tip in with where flat tires happen the most when you go to the shoulder road? I've heard this somehow where it's one specific tire that gets flat more often than not.
I would probably say it's the right front because curb shooting, but that's just me. You know, people pulling into parking spots or curbs, and we see a lot of damaged rims and stuff like that, or a knot on the sidewall. So usually the right front.
That's probably because you're still not finishing up that text.
Yeah, you know, well, I call them braille bumps. You know, you're driving down the road and you got your text message, but it's driving for the blind, the braille bumps. It keeps you in line. So when you hit them, you're on the side of the road. Yeah.
Okay.
But
no, it wakes you up.
I hate those things, man. I hate that thing they put in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Go to pass somebody. I feel my tires are tearing up to shreds. I
usually wait till my kids fall asleep and I'll pull over and just hit it just a little bit. Watch them jump.
Yeah. But if you ever have a blowout, it doesn't matter where it is or a flat tire or whatever. You can always take a tire off another position. It shouldn't matter. You can take it from the rear or whatever. You just want 2 good tires on the front. If it's hard for you to change out, yes, just put the spare up there. But you usually put your spare in the rear.
Can I do high-speed driving, like 75 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour with a donut?
Sure, you can do that, whatever you like, but I'm not going to follow behind you. No, the most spares are rated for usually 55 miles per hour.
And it's just to get you to a repair shop.
Yep, and they shouldn't be driven on more than a day per se. But when you pull up to the red line and you see that one tire that's got all that brake dust all over that spare, it's been on there a while.
Now look, I'm a radio host and I can't shut up. So here we started with tip number 1, and that is walk around the car to look at your tire and look how far. We used up 3 minutes. So what's the next tip?
Next tip would be to check your fluids real easy. I think I'm going to start doing a car care clinic at the shop, once a month or something like that, to just have people, just some basic stuff. But basically, pop your hood, open it up and have like paper towel or a rag or something. There's a couple bright colored little things under there. One's being the oil dipstick, one's being the transmission dipstick. That's a little harder to check. The oil one's pretty easy. And then like your coolant is the next big one. You don't even have to open that system up. Usually there's a clear bottle for coolant. It's green or red in most cases. So you can just look at it visually. There's a minimum and a max. So if you look at it and it's below the minimum, you might want to swing in somewhere and just have somebody that might know what's going on to just double check it. So you don't want to drive down the road with low engine coolant. You might have picked up a leak or something and then it overheat.
You talk, things come into my head, and I've seen this problem where people have burned themselves trying to open up a radiator cap.
Yes.
Can you give us the details on that?
Why
you would, how you would, so on and so forth.
The only time you would recommend to open a radiator cap is before you ever start the vehicle and it's completely cold. If you don't have any experience in automotive or anything. If once you've started it, don't even remotely think about opening it. It doesn't take but a couple minutes for it to build pressure and steam and heat and stuff like that. So even today, we gamble a little bit opening them up, even with them still warm. We just know what to watch out for, which it will scald you, burn you, and stuff like that, which is not a fan of anybody. So, but you don't even have to open that system up. What's the good thing is all manufacturers now are making, it's called a coolant recovery or reservoir bottle. It's pretty visible from the top side. You can physically look at it without opening the system up, which is great.
So you can fill it back up if it's low, or you can see that it is low and know that you've got a problem.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and then on the oil, they're trying to make it pretty easy. Got a funny joke about that, but I won't go into detail about that. But so but checking the oil, you just pull it out. There's some hash marks on there, and then basically you can just clean it off, put it back in, pull it out, and if it's in the hash marks, you're good to go.
Look, we're having such a good time. We're running out of time. We've got about a minute left. So, Mack with Quick Wrench Automotive. Once again, we'll have this up on video and on podcast on aaronsgunshop.com. You can check it out. But once again, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
Yep, Facebook and website. So Facebook, Quick Wrench Automotive on Facebook, and Uptown Party Trucks on Facebook. Go and like us. That way you can keep in on the latest news. And then also on the web, quickwrenchautomotive.com, and then uptownpartytrucks.com, and then you can give us a buzz to shops 254-935-2145.
Mack, it was a pleasure to have you on. Thanks for coming on. And ladies and gentlemen, until next week, keep your powder dry and God bless.